Hello and welcome to another episode of Nordens TV. Today's topic is covering how research and development tax relief can benefit you and your business. At the end of this episode, if you're asking, does my business qualify? How much can I save? Or in fact, any other question, then you should contact us to discuss the finer details of your activities and the savings you can possibly make. Joining me today is Laura Duggan from R&D Tax Solutions. Now, Laura is a qualified accountant and tax advisor with over 10 years experience specialising in research and development tax relief claims. Hi Laura, thanks for coming in. So in simple terms, can you explain to me what research and development actually is?
Yep, research and development tax relief is part of the government's incentives to assist innovation across a diverse range of UK industries. Over the last few budgets, the relief has become more and more beneficial and comparable reliefs have also emerged.
Okay, I may have been a little ambitious here because I said,
in simple terms,
yeah, it's probably not going to happen. This is quite a complex area, but the benefits are outstanding, so listen on.
So is research and development just for rocket scientists then?
No, not at all. The relief applies to companies who have been developing new or technically improving existing products, processes, systems, services, software systems also qualify.
Okay, that's great. But who does it actually apply to?
Okay, so the incentive is open to all UK companies that are subject to UK corporation tax. Unfortunately, there's no comparable incentive for unincorporated enterprises, but if you are subject to UK corporation tax, then you can potentially benefit from the relief. Now, the regime is split into two criteria. There's a large company scheme and the small company scheme. Essentially, a company is considered to be large unless it meets the criteria to be classed as a small-medium enterprise, basically meaning that there is less than 500 employees and there is a turnover of less than 100 million euros or a balance sheet of less than 86 million euros. The SME regime is the most beneficial regime and it has a benefit of around 26% cash benefit in respect of the development costs incurred and is also available to both loss-making and profitable companies.
Okay, so in order to make if we're going to make a research and development claim for a company, what's the time frame of it? How long will it take?
Okay, so a company has 2 years from the end of its accounting period to make a claim for R&D tax relief. So today is March 2016, so we have until the 31st of March 2016 to make a claim in respect of accounting periods ending on the 31st of March 2014. This doesn't matter if your accounting period was in excess of 12 months, but any costs incurred in that period can still be made a claim in respect of.
So are you saying that it takes 2 years to make a claim, or are you saying that we've got 2 years until we can make the claim, but it only takes a couple of days to make the claim, if you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, we have a deadline of 2 years to make the claim.
Okay, from the year end.
From the year end.
Yeah.
But the process to make a claim, the timeline for that varies completely dependent on the client's availability, dependent on the accountants, and dependent on where they are within their accounts period. So for historic accounts which have all been finalised and either ready to submit to HMRC or submitted, then we can turn the claim around within a couple of weeks, usually subject to the client's availability to deliver the information we need. If the R&D is undertaken in the current year and the accounts are not yet finalised, then we can't officially submit the claim until the accounts are finalised, because the claim does go within the corporation tax return, which has to be accompanied by accounts.
So just to clarify, if you've got the best accountant in the world dealing with it and the client is very respondent, we can potentially get the claim done within a couple of weeks?
Yes, that can be the case.
That's brilliant.
Okay, that seemed to be the longest explanation ever, but the answer is quite simple. Firstly, your accounts need to be filed for you to be able to make a claim. Secondly, you can go back 2 years, so you can make claims on accounts that are up to 2 years old. And if you're making a claim for this year's accounts, you've actually got 2 years before you need to make that claim. Clear? Let's hope so.
So how is the financial benefit calculated for a company?
Okay, so the relief works by increasing the allowable expenditure within a company's corporation tax computation. This will either reduce a profit or enhance a loss. So for an SME company, say they had £100 of allowable R&D expenditure, and that had gone through the profit and loss account, we would then deduct an extra £130 in the current rate of relief, which would then be set off against the company's corporation tax. So for a profitable company paying tax at 20%, this would reduce their corporation tax liability by about 26%, and £26 would then be back with the company. If the company was loss-making, then this would enhance the losses, and those losses could then be surrendered to HMRC in turn for a credit. The surrender rate is currently at 14.5%.
Great.
Wow, did we lose you? Don't worry. Should you qualify for the R&D tax relief, you're getting an average of over 15% saving by either reducing your profit if your company is profitable or enhancing your losses should you be loss-making.
So obviously there's quite a lot of savings to be made if you qualify for research and development tax relief. But what are the reasons you should use a specialist?
Okay, so there are several reasons that you would use a specialist. Firstly, the complexity of the actual relief itself. Yes, it sounds quite straightforward,
Straightforward? Really? Okay.
But this is tax relief. There are some hoops and some spiders' webs that you need to make your way through. So to maximise your claim, you should always refer back to a specialist who can guide you through the legislation, guide you through how to maximise your costs but not jeopardise your claim. If you use a specialist, they will tell you why you do qualify, and they'll also explain where you don't qualify. And from this, they will then correspond with HMRC on your behalf after taking time to understand what your company is actually doing. You can then take some confidence that the claim that you are submitting is to HMRC standards and will be passed without any queries.
In other words, Laura will help you navigate through all the paperwork and make sure you get the maximum reward should you qualify.
It's the same as with everyday life. You use a specialist. For example, if you're building a house, you get a plumber in and you get an electrician in. You don't ask one individual to do both jobs. If you wanted heart surgery, you don't go to your GP. It's the same process. The GP will refer you to the consultant. The accountants will work with consultants and specialists in R&D to deliver you the best service.
I totally agree. So would you say that anybody who would want to know whether they qualify for R&D, whether they think they do or don't, just ask the question and see where we go from there, because there are huge savings involved.
Yeah, definitely. Always ask the question, does the R&D tax relief apply to you? If you're questioning if the relief applies, then it's highly likely the relief will apply because you're already considering yourself to be doing development activity.
Laura, that's brilliant. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Done.
Who's that coughing?
Henry!
I know we had a bit of fun making this video, but that's not to take away from the importance and value of this R&D tax solution. So if you do think that you may qualify or you're interested to learn more, do get in touch. The number's coming up on the screen.